Was any roles that I was going to do that I was turned away for?
I audition for stuff constantly and I get rejected more often than not. So the thing about auditioning is you don't focus on them. I don't publicize all the auditions that I haven't booked, but there are some big name projects that went to other people because that's the nature of the audition process. It's just like any other job. People apply for a job and the folks hiring pick the person they want. You can't win them all. I like to liken acting roles to Pokemons. That's not the proper plural. Pokemon. Got to catch them all. You can't catch them all, but I want to catch as many as I can.
Do you prefer to do TV shows or movies?
No real preference. Movies tend to involve a little more work and maybe pay a little bit better, but again, I'm providing a service. So if it's something short and sweet that may not pay as much, it still needs to be done. And I'm delighted that somebody has chosen me and had enough faith in me to ask me to do it.
Have you done any live action work?
I've done lots of stage work in my youth, up through college, lots of community theater, amateur, am-dram stuff. I haven't done anything recently, mostly because I found that voiceover is extremely efficient. I am done and have been paid in possibly 20 minutes. That's really cool. So there's no rehearsals, makeup, wardrobe, line memorization. It's okay, a script. Hi, here I am. Like it? Good. Bye. So voiceover has become a very efficient way to earn a living. If anyone wanted me on camera or on stage, I would definitely consider and probably accept such an opportunity. But right now, this works really well, especially in times of lockdown. The work only slowed down for a week or two until I had everything up and running from home. And I've been working fairly consistently, even in lockdown.
How do you feel that your defined role as an actor is Eggman? Is Eggman?
I'm delighted and honored to portray Dr. Eggman. The challenge is that it's often the only role people think of, and I do so much other stuff, and people seem to want to only hear Dr. Eggman either as Dr. Eggman or in anything else I do. Oh, he sounds like Dr. Eggman in this, or why doesn't he sound like Dr. Eggman in this, or boy, that sounds like Dr. Eggman, even though there are subtle characterizations that are not Dr. Eggman that nobody wants to hear. If it's a gravelly voice, it's suddenly Dr. Eggman. Okay, there's a little more to it than that, but can't win them all. One thing I learned from my work in radio, which I did a lot of, is perception is reality. So if the audience perceives something in a certain way, that's what it is. You can't fight City Hall.
And do you wish like any other roles was your defining one as an actor?
No, because it's really the audience that should define the actor. If you're a Turtles fan, you would know me more for my Turtle stuff. That's great. Sonic fans know me more for my Eggman stuff. I am currently, since 2017, the voice of most of the male adults in Caillou. If you're a toddler and you like to watch Caillou, you know me in Caillou. I wouldn't expect someone older than toddler to appreciate Caillou or even like Caillou. That's okay too. The wonderful thing about what we do, there's something for everybody. So no, I will probably be most remembered as Dr. Eggman, but most of the time I'm not performing Dr. Eggman. I'm working on other stuff. I've got to focus on the work at hand and either not think of Dr. Eggman or try and keep some distance from Dr. Eggman, which has become a much more common pastime. But I'm focusing on what I'm doing at the time. I'd like you to watch it too. You don't have to.
Do you feel like you're taking anything away or from the characters that you portrayed over the years?
A lot of them reflect parts of my personality. When Dr. Eggman gets really angry, when Garbage Man gets really angry, that's me getting angry. It works on both emotional and physical levels. There's a lot of screaming and yelling in what I do. And from a physical standpoint, me yelling is me yelling. You can't do much else when you're yelling at the top of your lungs as far as injecting different characters. So pretty much any character of mine that yells will probably sound like Dr. Eggman to some degree, because when you reach yelling, all bets are off. But as far as other characters, playing the villain is very cathartic. If you're having a bad day and you get to go in and cause some fictional harm to some other person or thing, that feels really good when you leave. And I love to laugh, so I get to play comedy and make people laugh and make myself laugh when I'm recording.
What type of genre what do you try to go for?
I go for what the director wants. It's a very collaborative process. So if the director, here's a good director, here's a tip to all directors watching: let the actor do what the actor is going to do first, then give them notes, fix it, adjust it. Just like if you're hiring somebody to paint your house, they'll come in and do what they do, but you say, I don't like how you did this, fix it. Okay, and a little more here, a little more here, there. Better now? Great. So it's collaborative. It works best when it's collaborative.
Do you prefer to do good guys or bad guys?
Villains are much more fun, but I prefer to do whatever I'm asked. So again, it's kind of silly to have a choice, because the choice is made by the people who do the hiring. Boy, I'd love to play. There have been many stories where people have auditioned for one role and book another role. Even in stuff I've done. Oh, I really wanted to read for this, but you want me to have me do this? That's even better. It's up to you. Let me do.
Was there any like when you was working on the show and you auditioned for someone, but they got the role, but you're still working on the show? Was you ever jealous?
It's jealousy is not productive. The thing about auditions in general, you record an audition, you forget about it, you walk away. If you get the role, they'll call you. If you don't get the role, it's better if they don't call you. Usually they don't call or email or contact you. Sometimes they do, to say, hi, sorry, we went in a different direction. That actually is worse, because it gets your hopes up. Oh, wow, an email from this guy that auditions. Oh, well. So you audition, you move on. And if there's stuff that I've done that I've auditioned and I booked the role, presumably all the other people who were in the show auditioned as well. They may have auditioned for multiple roles. They may have auditioned for the role that I got, and they're okay with it. I may have gotten a role that I auditioned for, and lucky me, I may have auditioned for one of the other roles that they got, and okay, that's business. If there's a role, if it's destined to be, you'll get the role. And if someone else gets it, be generous. Let them do what they do too.
Because you've been in so many video games, have you ever played the ones which you're in?
I'm not a gamer. My kids were gamers. I guess they're still gamers, but they've not played anything I've been in recently that I'm aware of. But the closest I got, we were in a shopping mall, and they were demoing some video game system in one of the kiosks, and I noticed Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games was on. And I said, I'm in that. Play that as me. And the guy played it and said, okay, great. You can hear me. It sounds great. And then once we went to Dave & Buster's, the big chain of arcades. Well, they were a big chain of arcades. They may not be so big after lockdown, but they had the Olympic Games there on a big interactive gameplay thing. And I was watching people play. Saying, cool. That's me.
Well, and that's all the questions I have for today. Thank you so much for doing this.
Sure. Thanks so much for having me, Lewis. A pleasure.